Now, parents are bracing themselves to cope with 5 weeks of industrial action from secondary teachers. They're refusing to teach one-year group of students for each day week. For 1 day each week. Does that make sense? So starting with Year 9 next Tuesday, and in the middle of the month they're holding a week of rolling 1 day regional strikes. Now the Primary Teachers Union has yet to announce its next move, but it has already held 3 strikes and further action is considered likely. Now with no end in sight to the disruption, our education correspondent John Gerritsen took to the streets to ask parents if they've had enough yet.
Secondary teachers have held only 1 strike so far, but they're now promising 5 weeks of action, and this Wellington parent has already had enough.
I've got 2 secondary-aged children and they're in different years, and the rolling strikes as proposed are going to cause us as parents quite some difficulty because my wife needs to take days off work unpaid to do that, and with them rolling on different days it's actually quite a difficulty for us.
Kevin Yang also has children at secondary school. They're old enough to look after themselves on strike days, but he hopes the union and the ministry can reach a settlement.
Seems to me the government already reached the limit, so hesitate to support the teacher. I hope they can stop there or go for the negotiation rather than just go for a strike directly.
Primary school teachers and principals have held 3 strikes, and it's not clear what further action they might take. Ed Ballard has 3 children, and despite the disruption caused by the strikes, he supports the teachers and says he'd put up with more.
There's a point where it becomes unjustified, and I think that they'll begin to lose some of the support that they're likely to, have at the moment. But provided they don't take it too far, I think, I'd support them for a wee while longer, definitely.
The unions say the teacher shortage is proof a better deal is needed. The principal of Nayland College in Nelson, Daniel Wilson, says the problem has taken a while to reach his region, but now his school is in the unprecedented situation of losing 6 teachers in the middle of the year. Mr Wilson says the departing staff include one who's returning to Australia because New Zealand teachers are not paid enough, and others who are going to work in international schools. He says teachers need a better deal, and he's hopeful a settlement can be reached.
I'm definitely optimistic. I mean, they'll come to an agreement in the end. But I think that the ministry and the minister do need to start listening very carefully to some of the concerns on the ground. And I'd welcome the minister to come and visit my school any day of the week and see the fabulous job that our teachers are doing, but also the vast amounts of time and effort they have to put into doing their job at the very best of their ability.
The Secondary Principals Association held its annual conference this week, and its president, Deirdre Shea, says members are anxious about the prospect of prolonged industrial action. She says not everyone supports teachers' plans, but they all agree with their goals.
Things need to change. People need to be attracted into the profession. They need to stay in the profession, and they need to be supported to enjoy and be able to be at their best. So those 3 things are of genuine concern across the board with principals and teachers.
The Education Ministry is organising facilitated bargaining with the teacher unions through the Employment Relations Authority. But without more money from the government, the outlook for a settlement is bleak. Mō te hōtaka o te ahi, ko John Gerritsen tēnei.